after COVID, my income became 25% of what I was earning earlier. So I started using, so credit cards were used for any buying or something of that way. We thought कि आज पे नहीं करना, I have to pay that tomorrow basically. One of the catch which we realized later was because what we used to pay was only the minimum amount due, crap or something of that way. There was certain money which were given to my friends and all those things because they had some medical emergency and I could not ask the money back from them basically at that point of time. I had been in this situation for almost for like 2.5 years basically. Almost I would say currently of the debt of, let's assume 10,000 rupees for to give an example, we have almost paid almost around 8,500 is what has been paid. So
Awesome.
like 85% is like 85% is paid. 15% is pending, which we hope to get it cleared within couple of months. First thing was like whatever money you are getting it across, whatever your fixed expenses, you first pay that off, whatever remains balance. From that you start living from that one. We went into the details of whatever debts which were there. So we wrote it down. I still use your cash flow statement which you had got me made. First thing what we decided was like let's clear the credit card, because what we realized like what we were paying was anything between 24% to 48%. I think we decided how do we close those credit cards. If you recollect, the income was the same. There was no change in the income. So we were trying to work on the same income, what you were earning, and how do we try to pay back. And we actually strategized it by talking to the banks and financial institutions, and how do we settle those things, or how do we try to find a solution on that. What I liked was one is what we are approachable at any given point of time. That was the first part of it. And one thing was very clear that at various places was not like you speak to my AB or no this thing of that way. So it was a direct one-to-one interaction with you. That was one part which was there. Second part which I liked was like you're never judgmental or you're never biased basically. कि why you are आप ये कैसे कर सकते हो? How can it be this way? So that was one thing about it.
Hi Rajen, so happy to have you.
Hi Meena, how are you?
Very well, awesome. You always say hi with so much of enthusiasm. I love it. Awesome. So Rajen, we have been in this journey, financial journey for I think 1 year, 3-4 months, and in the last
almost 1.5 years, I would say.
Almost 1.5 years. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So I know your story.
This does not add 1 month, which I took to decide whether should I go for it or should I not go for it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So in the last 1.5 years, so many things like has happened, and it's been a transformational journey as far as I know. I would love to hear from you. So let's start about you introducing in brief about yourself.
Okay. Hi, I am Rajen Savla. I work at a senior level for a real estate company. Presently, I am based out of Ahmedabad, and earlier I was based in Mumbai. And presently, I keep on shuffling between Mumbai and Ahmedabad. So I have my one leg in Mumbai and one leg in Ahmedabad. So that's how it is.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, Rajen. So how many years you have been in the real estate industry?
Almost like 29 years.
Wow.
In the real estate industry.
2 decades, I would say that.
3 decades, 29.
29, just 1 more year. Yes,
3
decades. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Super. Okay. So Rajen, see, whenever anyone connects with me, there are definitely certain financial challenges or difficulties, or there are certain things that they are seeking and they want to achieve it in their life. So, what were your reasons? Would love to hear. I know it, but it's always good for you to share. And how was that keeping you stuck? And what was your mental state of mind that you went through at that time?
Okay. Coming to the facts like mental state of mind, I'll cover that first. I was basically in a huge debt at one point of time. The reason my debt started was basically earlier I was working for a company. And then during COVID, I lost my parents, so I had decided to leave that company, and then again I had to join some other company. So what had happened? What I was earning earlier, after COVID, my income became 25% of what I was earning earlier. So that was one of the reason I got into debts. Apart from that, there was certain money which were given to my friends and all those things. All those also became bad due to few reasons, basically because they had some medical emergency and I could not ask the money back from them basically at that point of time. So then I was in a debt of huge amount, in good amount of lakhs is what I would talk about. To give you an example, let's assume that if I give it to you an example, let's assume that whatever I was earning, okay, I was not even able to service the total EMI. So sometime or the end of the month, it would be like, let me see what can I do to bridge the gap. Yeah, my end to ends you things used to meet up, but still at the end of the month, if you come and say that I need 5,000, so I was like, oh shit, how to
Correct.
get that arranged basically.
Correct.
My major reasons for the debt was because after COVID or something of that way, the easiest money available was credit card. So I started using, so credit cards were used for any buying or something of that way, without ki
Hmm.
aaj pay nahi karna, I have to pay that tomorrow basically.
Correct.
And one of the catch which we realized later was, because what we used to pay was only the minimum amount due. At the end of the day, my outstanding amount still used to be the same. And after
Correct.
that, your taxes used to add up and all those things. So I always used to say that amount of outstanding was either the same, or I could in the next statement I see going up by 1,000 or 2,000 rupees of that way. Apart from that, I had a debt from my friends and relatives. That was the other debt which we had it. And let me thank you get that with whatever journey we have for last 1.5 years, almost I would say currently, of the depth of, let's assume 10,000 rupees, for to give an example, we have almost paid almost around 8,500 is what has been paid. So
Awesome.
like 85% is
85%.
like 85%
85% has
is
been
paid,
paid.
15% is pending, which we hope to get it cleared within couple of months.
Correct.
That's what it is basically.
Correct. Correct. So, Rajan, what was your mental state and how long you have been in this debt? Like, for how long you have been in this situation of debt before
I
you?
had been in this situation for almost like, yeah, almost for like 2.5 years basically is when it was 2.5 to 3 years is what you would say. Earlier, earlier I could not get those. Might be I was into the situation much earlier, but I could not realize that I was into that situation, because if I used to ask money from anyone, I used to get money. तो वो पता नहीं चल रहा था कि बस you're getting into a trap or something of that way.
Correct. Debt
So
trap.
that
Correct.
yeah.
Perf-
So that is what you never realized it or something of that, which you realized it on a much later date.
Correct. 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 Understood. Understood. So, this lets me to the next question. See, there are
Hmm.
so many coaches on money
Hmm.
who are helping people with money. So, Rajan, why my course? Why my program? What is it that, like, I'm sure there is a reason. I would love to hear that.
Okay. First thing is I had got a reference from one of the uh, friend basically. So one, that comfort factor, one with the reference which came was like, yeah, if so and so person is referring, it would be good. I would not say it would be the best at that point of time. That was my initial reaction. It would be good. Let
Correct.
me explore at that point of time. And
Correct.
when I had actually reached out to you, it was that way. Let me see what it is and what you have to say basically. So
Yeah.
if you recollect, initially we had 2 or 3 rounds of discussions
Correct.
where I like the nature, the way you took the things forward or something of that way. So that was the first part of it. You never promised me saying that no, you told me the facts, this is how it would be, this is how it would be. You never gave me that rosy picture, so which I like the most thing about it. So you never told me ki, Rajan, you'll be out of the debt in 6 months. You never told me those things.
I know. And I keep telling it to everyone, it's a lie if people say that.
Hmm.
You and me will try our best, and I know with experience it happens.
Yeah. So that was the first part of it, basically. The second thing which I liked about you was like, if you want to more of it, I'll be with a hunter behind you and you have to follow that. That was on a lighter note, hunting this basically.
Yeah.
That was
Like
like
I,
a,
yeah, I'm an implementation taskmaster for
yeah,
sure.
so that was the second thing
Thank
which
you.
I liked about it. The third thing which we liked was like at the initial level of when we were talking about it, you gave me a rough understanding about, like normally when we look at the book, you have an index. So you
Hmm.
gave me a rough index. This is how it would be going across. Then you told me, Rajan, in your journey might be few chapters may come earlier, few chapters may come later, or few chapters may not be required in your case. So and you told me, when you are honest, Rajan, it's too early for me to get into a judgmental call. Till the time we don't get into detailed of everything, because
Correct.
right now what we are talking is only at a face level. And
Correct.
what I know, and I'm only hearing what you have said. I don't know. I have not validated the facts. That's what you had to use those words at that point of time.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Rajen. Thank you. So this brings me to the next question. Like being there for 1.5 years, there are two things which I see has definitely have transformed in your life. One is on your money mindset and money habits, I would say. There are certain habits, like I was very, very particular. I was checking with you every week. So we worked on those habits. So I would first want you to talk about what are the money habits that got improved in this 1.5 years being a part of
Okay.
the academy.
Okay. First part, when we talk about the money habits, one thing what we learned is basically the value of money.
Yeah,
Okay. How do you start loving money? Of course, everyone loves money, but when I'm saying how do you love money, it's like no, it's a small baby. Like how do you take care of it,
correct,
basically? So
correct,
that is what I mean by how do you love money,
correct,
basically. So that is the first part of it. Second part, when we're talking about it, the flow, like how are we going to take the things forward one by one, is what it was. Like we went into a minute to minute detail uh, on it. Like to give like you, we went into what is your income, first part. So
hmm,
it was like, okay, I told you the salary income. Then it was like, or koi income hai. So we went into those parts. So we went into details of, okay, what is the interest you're getting on a saving bank account, if any, even if you're getting 20 rupees. And to add to that, we also went into to those details कि Google पे से payback कितना आ रहा है, 2 rupees, 5 rupees, right? And
correct,
then we went into the details of whatever debts which were there. So we wrote it down. I still use your cash flow statement which you had got me made. So in that
correct,
where we had written everything like, okay, credit cards, then what are your other loans, your personal loans or whatever it
correct,
was. Then
correct,
your third part was your loans from your friends, families, and what was it? Then we
correct,
and then we did a priorities wise. What are the rate of interest at what you are paying and which are without interest or what I basically. And
correct.
then the your next question was, Abhi, इसमें से who are the guys who are with you with a wimp behind you? So that's what we said. And first thing what we decided was like, let's clear the credit card, because what
Correct.
we realized, like what we were paying was anything between 24% to 48% is
Correct.
what we were paying. And first thing we decided, how do we close those credit cards?
Correct.
And we actually strategized it by talking to the banks and financial institutions, and how do we settle those things, or how do we try to find a solution on that. So what it helped at that point, because when we spoke to financial institutions, when we spoke to those part at that point of time, at least my additional interest growth thing got stopped. I
Correct.
the top up on credit card stopped at that immediate point
Point.
of time.
Correct.
So that top up and that those top up fees and all those things stopped, because if you recollect, the income was the same. There was no change in the income. So we were trying
Perfect.
to work on the same income, what you were earning, and how do we try to pay back. So then
Correct.
we actually, what I like was the strategize what we did, like how do we uh, strategize the whole thing, and that is first thing what we did. So we started paying on those. We also looked at the places, like which are the areas where you can uh, you know stop or reduce the expenses. For
Correct.
example, like every week I used to travel to Bombay, to give you a small example. right? So might be if I'm
Hmm.
traveling by second AC. So we said, why travel by second AC? Why don't we you travel by AC, but travel by third AC?
Hmm.
Means,
Understood.
so we are not saying that you don't be comfortable, but
But
that
yeah,
is the
unnecessary spend. Like if there's
hmm,
something was not required, it's like, can we work on that? Correct.
yeah. Then one thing which if we recollect, I had shifted my house because where we were paying a rent of X value, and we said, okay, I'll be saving this much money if I shift the house, and this is what we would save, and this is what will help us
Correct.
to
Correct.
pay the we have to pay one or two
Absolutely.
people or something of that
Correct.
way.
Correct.
So
Correct.
there's so basically it helped, like we went into total detailed of it
Detail head.
basically, and
Correct.
then we decided, okay, this is how it was. And when we started the journey, we were very clear that it's going to take 4 to 5 years, but thanks to Almighty and with support and blessing of everyone, it got done much earlier basically.
Much happier. Yes. Perfect. 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 Very well. So, in this journey, what are the money habits you inculcated? So, when I say money habits, what I mean is that I know that you were someone who will say, yes, इसको पैसे चाहिए, चलो मैं दे देता हूँ. इसको पैसे चाहिए, चलो मैं दे देता हूँ. Yeah, and I was quite tough on you on those situations where I told you what's the checklist you need to have when before you give money to people. You should give money, but you should be aware about whether they really need it or not. That's one money habit we worked on. And there are other money habits, whatever you can think of, which you can see. These are the top three money habits that really helped you in the last 1.5 years. You can share that.
Okay, the first thing was like whatever money you are getting it across, whatever your fixed expenses, you first pay that off. Whatever remains balance, from that you start working on, start living from that one. Don't uh, live and then whatever you save from that you pay. So that was the first thing which got changed,
Perfect.
right? The second thing which got changed was basically uh, if anyone is asking for money or something, so it's like, is it really requiring, अगर मैं नहीं दूंगा तो उसका काम चलेगा या नहीं चलेगा? And it was like, we started giving the solution for money. Like for example, today someone comes to me for a loan. I was like, why don't you apply for a mudra loan? You are getting this, So better way. So it was not like something of that way. So that is the
Correct.
one thing which got changed in that period. Okay.
Perfect.
And third thing which got changed was like, okay, you know what, where you want to spend, where you don't want to spend, basically. So your some of the, and today it's not like I'm not enjoying, I don't go for movies or I don't eat out. No, it's not that. So it's not like here we are saying that we are not saying that आप कंजूसी कर रहे हो. We are just found out a better way to use that money,
Perfect.
basically.
Perfect. 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 Super, very well said. All the points that you said, so bang on. And these small changes have actually helped you a lot,
Yeah.
Rajen. Yeah. So, this one thing which was very, I would say that we both worked on was career shift. Okay.
Mm.
So, I know this was not a part of the financial empowerment program at all, but we knew that with your close to 3 decades of experience, this was something which is very important. And if you can just share with us on that.
Okay. Meena, something which I would divert you from the question. I'll come back to your question. One
Yes.
thing about you was like, he, I could message your call, at any given point of time, because boss, this is where I got stuck, what to do, irrespective whether it was career, it was anything uh, personal, official, or something of that way. So it was like, it was more like talking to a friend. And normally it was like, no, like, means I know that you have been mainly doing for females or for women, basically is what your major things were there. So your one of the thing was
Passionate
like,
about it. I'm
huh?
passionate about it, but men are always welcome. I'm
Yeah,
passionate about
but yeah, but that
it.
was your first thing, and you were like, I'm only taking those people who are serious, those men who are serious basically,
Yeah.
and who don't want to get into you. And
Yes.
not like ABC. I'm not getting
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
that, right? So that was one thing which was there. The second thing, which so of course, so with Mina, I could always say that you are into safe hands. So that was one comfort factor which I always had it. So on the career factor, I still recollect I used to call up and tell you, Mina, ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai. This is what it was. and we
Correct.
started working parallelly on the. Of course, that was not a part of it, but what we started was like, ये income पे अब life नहीं गुजरेगी. You cannot go on the life with
Correct.
the same thing. So we need to see what are the alternate routes to increase your income.
Perfect.
So we also looked at the option. Is there some side job or which you can do or something of that way? Is there any
Correct.
other business which we can do? And then third thing we said like, uh, why don't we change the job if you're getting a better thing of that something. So we started working on that, and yes, I am having a career move happening very shortly. So where I have already going for a hike of like 60% of what I was earning today.
We have
So
been
that is
waiting for
happening
this.
now. So that's happening now.
Awesome.
So yes, it took time, but yes, we were patient, and whatever processes you told us or whatever rituals you told us to follow, it
Uh,
helped.
correct. Correct. Awesome. Awesome. I know. So, money journey is a very holistic journey. It's not just like
Hmm.
ye kar lo ho jayega. It's a very holistic journey and it takes time. That's what I tell people. It takes time. Yeah. Awesome. So, being there for 1.5 years, what are the key you have shared? You have shared quite a bit, but if there's anything that you want to add to it, like what are the key aspects that you found very unique about my program compared to, I'm sure, see, in 3 decades you have met so many people, you have interacted with so many businesses, you know businesses and you know people in and out. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, in what are the unique things that you found about my program, about my academy?
Okay, what I liked was, yeah, one is what you're approachable at any given point of time. That was the first part of it. And one thing was very clear that at various places was not like you speak to my AB or no, this thing of that way. So it was a direct one-to-one interaction with you. That was one part which was there. Second part which I liked was like, you're never judgmental or you're never biased basically. Ki why you are, आप ये कैसे कर सकते हो? How can it be this way? So that was one thing about it. And I still recollect like we had quite a few joint sessions with few of the other female friends now I can say.
Yes. Yes.
And like I still recollect like no ki, we had one of the friend who were like, I don't have a bank account, and you were like, boss, how can you be this way basically?
Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
so we had gone into those, so that is one. So it was, so you were never, so you never told her ki, or you never happened ki, uh, ki kya bewkoof hai, you have at so much age in this generation, how can you not have this?
Correct.
So
Correct.
it was never that way basically. So we were never judgmental. We were never judgmental or on anyone basically. So that was one thing which was very good about it. And one thing was your reminders which kept on coming for sessions or for the task. Have you completed those or have you not completed those? Till the time you realize that they will do it.
I know. Yes.
So initially it was like, I've not got this.
I know. Yeah.
And I still recollect once, you had got quite pissed up on all of us. No one
Yes,
had
I
done the homework.
remember. I remember that meeting, and I was like, usually I never lose my cool, but just
and the
lost it. Like,
and the whole lot, no one had done anything that whole week.
I remember that. I remember. Yeah,
So today when we're thinking, na, it's like you feel like laughing, and that time you were like,
correct.
so.
So it is that attachment of your progress. So I tell people, because I'm so connected with your success that when it is not done, I know what's going to happen to you. So it pains me. Yeah. So I know this is what I tell everyone, that you not doing it, I will not just let you say, Auntie ke nahi kiya, let's go on to the next one. So
We never went as well. I still recollect one of the business I मुझे आज class करना ही नहीं है. Basically, you're first free and then we'll do. Till that time, I'm not going to show my face. So it's that way.
perfect. Perfect. Okay, this
So, okay, the one thing which was good, like it was never like, you were trying to do it for your money or for your personal gain. That is what, yes, everyone works for their bread and butter. But it was not like whether you do it or you don't do it, I am concerned with my fees or with my charges. So that was never the case or something of that way. So it was like you move one step, I'll move three steps ahead with you guys.
thank you. Means a lot. Thank you so much. So beautifully said. Yeah. So this brings us to the last question, Rajen. So I want you to share, why is it so important for people, especially who are struggling with debt? Like in the last few weeks, I had few of my clients who were deep in debt, and they literally had tears in their eyes. And many of them, when they come and they discuss, they have this picture that they have to struggle for 15, 20 years of the EMI period. Okay. I want you to share, why is it so important for them to invest in a program like this? Not just with me, I'm saying with anyone, like whoever with whom you connect and vibe with. But you have options, you have choices, and you can actually release yourself from it. But you
Okay,
have to
it's like,
take that step. So I would want you to share as to why is this so important.
okay, basically, I would put it another way. It's like a tree. You water a tree, it will grow. That is what I would say. So when I'm doing an investment, it's an investment which you're doing. It's not a, okay. Technically, it's an investment which you're doing it for your own growth, for your own family. If you love your family, you would do that. If you don't love your family, you will not get into it,
Correct.
because it is for you to decide whether you want to pass the debt to your next generation or you want to move out your way. That is the first part of it.
Correct.
Second thing is like, when you're talking about the debt, it is not like 10, 15 years, something of that way. Let me
Correct.
give you a classic example. Forget the regular debt. Even the people, those who take a housing loan, since I'm into this housing sector,
Correct.
they may take a loan for 20 years or 25 years. 97% of the people pay back the loan in 7 to 8 years. That's the trend in the uh,
Correct.
housing loans which are disbursed from the various banks or something of that way.
Correct. Correct.
Same way, I would the same way it is ki whatever debts or loans we have, it will get clear. Don't worry on that. We have a big universe, and don't get into a negative zone at all. Is what I would tell all of you. There is always a solution for everything in life. We just need to speak out. We need to find a right person with whom we want to speak out and say, basically, because you cannot go to God and keep on crying, because otherwise God will say "ये हमेशा रोते हो ही आ रहा है." So that doesn't work.
Agree.
That's the
Agree.
reason God has given us friends and family. And imagine, like I had no connections. This thing, basically, to like the complex where she stays. That was a complex where I used to work at one point of time. But even at that point of time, we had no connect or anything as such. So there is some connect from somewhere. So if you have intentions to get the things done, Almighty will always give you the way to find the solution. He will connect the dots. It's like if you have read the book, Connect the Dots. It's the same way it will help you to connect the right people at the right time.
Perfect.
And also one more thing, what we learned from Meena was every people who are talking sweet to you, they are not your friends. So you need to learn that also.
Perfect. 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 Nice. Thank you so much, Rajan. Like,
Most
thank you
welcome.
so much for your time and all that you
Most
shared.
welcome.
Yeah.
Most welcome. So when
So
are you coming to Ahmedabad now?
I'll come soon, then I'll let you know about it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. And in next client party, you need to be there. Catch up.
Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure, sure.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
so
Bye
much.
bye.
God
Have a
bless
pleasant
you.
evening.
You too. God bless you.
Bye.
God bless you.
Bye.
Thank you.